Welcome to Mac TV, the Mac and Jet Show. Two cool brothers with hot takes, taking on issues today in hopes for a better tomorrow.
Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Mac TV Network channel on all platforms and hit the notification bell to be notified when our new content drops. Now let's jump into the show.
We're live here on Super Bowl Sunday. Good to be seen. Good to be with you. As always, we want to please ask you to subscribe to the Mac TV Network, our YouTube page, our YouTube channel. All you need is a email address. Yeah, your email address to sign in on YouTube and then subscribe. Once you subscribe, you hit the bell that will tell you when where you can be notified. I apologize. Where you can be notified of when we have a video. Do that. Also, like the page, the Facebook page, Mac and Jet, Mac TV on Facebook, and share the videos that we have for you today. I am excited. I may not seem I'm tired, but I am excited about the Super Bowl today because we got a nice conversation about the Super Bowl. But then on the B block of what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about something pretty serious, about something that's going on in our community. And it's just one situation of many that go on. But we want to talk about it, let you guys know about it, and get some comments on it and some thoughts on some of the things that go on in our schools. And so before we get started, I just want to let you know that I'm Mac.
I'm Jet.
And this is the Mac and Jet Show. And so for the Super Bowl, what is the three most important things you guys think about the Super Bowl today? You probably will get it wrong, but I'm going to let you know the three most important things. And Elder Jet is going to tell us what he thinks about those three things. The first thing is, what are you eating? What are you going to eat during the Super Bowl? Well, I'm going to give you all three so you can unpack all of them. What are you eating? The halftime show. And number three, most important thing would be the commercials. Those three things, when you got Super Bowl Sunday, this is how you bring everybody in. It's the most watched event on TV every year. And part of it is because those three things, you don't have to be a pure football fan to enjoy. And so what do you think about those three things?
Okay, well, first things first, I'm pretty easy to accommodate when I'm at sporting parties, events. Got to have some barbecue chicken, some sort of chip.
Okay.
I prefer chips and salsa. That's always a hit for me. So barbecue chicken, chips and salsa, and fried chicken. So chicken, and chips and salsa. The halftime show, I think is going to be this year phenomenal. We have Usher. Many of us have followed Usher's career from the beginning. He's an electrifying dancer. He's a great singer. He's just an entertainer, and it's good to see him have this opportunity. He's been on the Super Bowl before, but he has an opportunity this year to headline and do it his way. He's got a song called My Way. But he's got a chance to do it his way, put his production on, and he also has an album dropping. I'm pretty sure it's on today, so I'm in high expectation of what Usher's going to do today. And then the third thing you said was the commercials. I find myself enjoying the commercials, but I no longer really find myself in great anticipation of the commercials. They just, like, when they come, sometimes they're great and they catch me off guard. And if they're not so great, it doesn't really bother me because I don't have any expectation as far as the commercials go.
Good deal. My thoughts on those three things. First of all, I'm gonna go with the commercials first. You're right. I think 5-10 years ago, the commercials were a lot better than they have become. And part of that, I believe, is sometimes people put too much thought into them. I don't really like the commercials that don't link with what the commercial's about. A lot of them now, it's like you wonder what the commercial's about, and then you get at the end and it's about an insurance company and you don't know what it had to do with horses.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and so but there's usually some jewels in there. Now, for some reason, it's usually maybe out of 10 of them, you might find 2. And so if you're watching 20, you only got 4 that's going to really, be good. But yes, I still want to see them. And like you said, I enjoy them when they're good, and when they're not, I don't have a lot of expectation as I used to. But it is fun to watch them and know that the company is spending big money.
Let me ask you
go ahead.
this while we're on the commercials.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Super Bowl commercial of all time? If you could just pick one.
What I'm going to do is give you probably one of my favorites, but I'm going to say it this way. It's the one that has lasted in my memory the longest, because you might come up with one and say, oh yeah, that was good. But I can't remember which one, but it was the Budweiser horses. They had one where they were out on the field, and it was like they were getting ready to kick off and play a football game out on the field. And I thought that was good for Budweiser because the Clydesdale horses and things like that was very good setting. The cinematography I thought was good for the commercial. And the thought of the horses playing football, meaning everybody enjoys football, everybody likes football. Thought that was very good. Then we had one. I'm going to go with that one for now as we talk. If I think of one and you say one, but that's one right there. Go ahead. What's one?
See, I like Budweiser always shows out for the
yes.
for the Super Bowl,
yes.
And I like that one. That's not even my favorite Budweiser commercial, though.
Okay.
The one that always will stick in my mind for Budweiser with the frogs.
Yeah.
And when they first came out with that, I thought that was genius. It was funny. It was magnetic. It just drew you in. I just love that.
I agree.
But my favorite right now, I would say my favorite Super Bowl commercial would have to be the old LeBron James talking to the young LeBron James commercial.
Okay.
I really liked. I enjoyed that. I thought it was smart. It was interesting, and it keeps you. You'll watch the whole thing every time. So okay. I really like that one.
Now, was that on last year's Super Bowl?
I want to say that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, because I don't remember seeing it.
Okay.
So I might have missed that. Now I'm going to look for it. I guess I'll go to YouTube and look for it. I agree with the frogs for sure. Now, let me ask you this. I believe it was a Super Bowl, but another great commercial. Everything about it, the way they did it was great. If it's not a Super Bowl commercial, it should be. And I can't remember who it was for. It might have been Bud Light or Miller Lite, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light. But remember the one where all the old football players, Hall of Famers, were in the room, like in a black tie affair, and somebody brought a football out, and somebody was going to fumble it, and somebody got the ball, and it was like it's on now, and they were throwing the ball around. Everybody was in it. I think that first came at a Super Bowl. I thought that was awesome to see the different guys, Dion, you know what I mean? And then the ball go real low, and Franco Harris pick it up.
Yeah.
Like the immaculate reception. You see, Peyton Manning get it, and somebody, that's a big monster, coming at him, he gets rid of the ball in time, all that kind of stuff. But I thought that was a great commercial. But as we talk, I'll probably remember some because there were some great ones. I think Doritos and Pepsi have had some real good ones that I just can't think of right away. But I know they've had great Super Bowl commercials. And when I can't remember the specifics of one, like I said, lets you know that they were a good commercial, because if I know it was Doritos had one and I know Pepsi, that's what they want. They want their name to be synonymous with certain things so that you might want to pick up your Pepsi.
Okay. How about your halftime show?
I have no doubt that Usher's going to put on a good show. I have just it's going to be hard for him to pick 4, 5, 6 songs to do that aren't great. It's going to be hard for me to think that he's not going to electrify the stage. With Jay-Z being a part of halftime now all the time, I'm sure everything behind him, the backup dancers, the choreography, the stage itself, all that's going to be magnificent. So no doubt, I think it'll be a great halftime show. But what I do want to ask you about that, yes, I'm looking forward to seeing Usher. What's your top 3 halftime performances?
Ooh. Prince, for sure.
Okay.
The one that they just had recently with Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent,
Dr. Dre's
that was
ensemble.
That was amazing. And Janet Jackson.
Yeah. Now give me an order of those 3, or is that your order?
That would be the order.
That'd be the order. Prince, Dr. Dre's ensemble, and Janet Jackson.
You just can't really beat when Prince is singing Purple Rain and it started raining.
Yeah. I would go, and for me, it would be Dr. Dre's Ensemble. Then it probably would be, to me, Bruno Mars when he performed, and then, as you said, the Purple Rain. You know, you can't beat it when it actually rains when he does Purple Rain. Bringing everything else to that, I'd have to go those three. Janet Jackson, obviously, but the situation that happened kind of overshadowed that put that in its own category.
You
Nipplegate or whatever.
I say something else.
Okay, yeah. I just said that to kind of. I said what I said. I'm not gonna go too far. Stop talking.
But you did bring up Jay-Z.
Yes.
So since you brought up Jay-Z,
let's talk about it.
I wanted to touch on the Grammys.
Yeah.
Jay-Z and his rebuke of the Grammys and not only standing up for Beyonce, but all the black artists over the years that have been passed over, robbed, or just ignored by the Grammys. How did you feel about that?
Let me say this. I thought Jay-Z he told facts, and what he had and what opinions he had. I agree with his opinions. Not knowing the business as well as he does, I lean to what he's saying when he talked about categories. Some people shouldn't be in categories and things of that nature. But this is the other thing I want to say, because I've seen different people talk on it. The protest part of it, he talked about the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff boycotting, but going to the hotel room to watch it. But I like the way he brought it back full circle and said, then all of a sudden he was nominated and DMX didn't get nominated, so he boycotted. But what he did was go home and watch it. Kind of pointing out the irony of, you're supposed to be protesting something, but it's so powerful that you still watch anyway. That doesn't necessarily equal a protest.
Well, it does.
Well, yeah,
because nobody knows you're watching, and
Nielsen does.
Your absence. Well, I mean,
and that's the money, and that's what they want.
Your absence speaks volume.
It's supposed to,
because anything you lend your presence to, you also lend your approval.
It's supposed to, and if that's highlighted. I don't know where it was highlighted that Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince didn't go, especially when you had the situation like now where best rap performer, best rap performance, best rap album went to Killer Mike and it wasn't televised. So, rap isn't televised anyway normally. So watching it just helps Nielsen ratings. But anyway, what I wanted to get to is saying, to go slightly negative, because I'm aware and I see things. Do you know how many times I've watched the BET Awards and certain performers not there? And I'm not going to say Jay-Z, because I don't know how many times he's not been there, or Beyonce, or whoever the hottest singer, rapper could be. Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross, possibly. In other words, black folks come, want to honor, want you to be there, and you're not there.
Too big for the moment.
And again, that I hear a lot of people say that. Yeah. I don't want to say that's the reason for all of them.
That was one of the criticisms that I heard about Jay-Z.
Right.
It was kind of like everybody was like applauding him and giving him a hand clap for standing up. But then other people that have been in the game for a long time was kind of approaching it from, oh, now you black.
Yeah.
Because you know that in just in society, period, you can see people when they're really not thrilled about blackness until they need to be. Like, oh, now you want to capitalize on your blackness.
Yeah.
But any other time you saying we just a human race.
Yeah.
Oh.
and not to get into that part of it, but you did. I don't want to go there with that for sure with Jay-Z, because I don't know enough about his stances and.
Oh no, I don't either. I've heard this from people who claim to know.
Yes, exactly. And I'm not saying it's not out there, but I'm just saying that I agree, but there's always, we got to go deeper sometime than first and second. We got to go to the third and fourth level to unpack certain things.
You know what? I apologize. We kind of hijacked the topic.
No.
One name drop of and so I do want to give you an opportunity to say you're on the third one about what are you eating? What do you need? What do you like to have available
during
to eat for the Super Bowl?
For the Super Bowl. Well, yeah, I will get into that. I'll finish this. My point was, I thought was that if we are going to be taken seriously, we need to take our own stuff seriously, and we don't necessarily have to worry about somebody else. Somebody else, saying that. But likes to eat, obviously wings, but you said chicken. But chicken taco. I mean, chicken.
For clarity,
yes,
when I
you don't
say
eat red meat.
I say chicken, I mean wings.
Okay. Well, rotisserie chicken, you pull everything off the bone and make you some chicken nachos. Love that. My wife does that a lot.
What's the ingredients on that?
Chicken, cheese, jalapenos, salsa, or you could,
and you just put all that over
top
of nachos.
Put all that over top of
like
nachos.
A nacho
stick it in the oven,
type thing.
Exactly, just like you would get nachos. She makes that. She does a good job of making that. And then my mother-in-law, tradition, when my mother-in-law was living, that we did for years. I'll say at least 10 years, 15. She did it forever, but there was like a stretch there. It was just something that we did. Every Super Bowl, she did a turkey dinner. So basically, it was a Thanksgiving dinner every Super Bowl also.
Oh, wow.
And she would always, we would have dinner like around 3 or 4, getting ready for the Super Bowl. And then by the time we got in there, she would have desserts, but she would always take all the rest of the turkey, put it on a big tray, cut it up, dark meat on one side, white meat on the other, put some salt and pepper on it, put it in the oven, heat it up so it's hot, put that on the table, we snack on turkey. And by halftime, everybody was asleep. We had to get waking up for the second half. That turkey then put us to sleep. But so the nachos is one thing, obviously wings. And then what's another thing I'd say? Over the years, nothing that really, strikes me other than having those things. The wings is the biggest thing. And I'll probably think of something as we go along.
See, but, I gotta get out more because I'm boring when it comes to preparation for like parties and things like Super Bowl. So I keep it basic. And then when I come to places like the McIntyre's house and other places, it kind of expands my mind because you guys are like your family is the first black family I came to your house and there was quiche there.
Yeah. Oh, my wife. Yeah. Time out.
Okay.
I shouldn't. You'll appreciate this. Tuna fish macaroni salad.
Oh man. Listen, when you put me on to that, it was life changing.
Yeah.
And it's just something that's hard to let go. Because I really shouldn't be eating pasta. But that tuna mac, I just can't say no.
Yeah, I agree. I do it all the time. And every now and then, I think about it. Last time I did, I said, man, I know Jett would be nice because this one turned out great. Like when they turn out great, that's like one of those things. But tuna fish macaroni salad, my mom used to do that. My dad used to love it. And I got turned on to it then. And you know how it was in the black families that I was at. And in my family and most of the people in our community, when we were kids, every meal had to have a certain color Kool-Aid with it.
Oh,
and
okay.
Tuna fish macaroni salad, you had to have green Kool-Aid.
Green Kool-Aid.
Yeah, so when my mom had that, we always made sure the green Kool-Aid was there.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's just another ranking in blackness. Like
Kool-Aid.
No.
Oh.
We had Kool-Aid and we would have all kinds of Kool-Aid, but it wasn't color coded
to the dinner.
And I mean,
oh yes.
Oh, and that's awesome to me. I can't believe that me and you've been friends this long.
And I didn't.
And this is my first time ever hearing that.
Oh man, fried pork chops with rice and corn. That was always orange. My mom was making fried pork chops. We had orange Kool-Aid.
Color coordinated Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah, fried chicken was always punch because my dad loved tropical punch. That was his. And we had fried chicken a lot. You know what I mean?
See, I'm disappointed in that.
Oh man,
because if you drink like the red Kool-Aid is cherry. You know
tropical punch. I meant.
If you drink,
but there was cherry too. Yeah, cherry wasn't always easy to find.
But if you're drinking red Kool-Aid,
yeah, then
it needs to be cherry.
That's true.
We did a lot of. I like orange. And my mom would do a lot of grape.
Yes, I was going to tell you
with lemon in it.
Okay, but what do you think went with grape?
I don't know.
You gotta know. I'm you ready to find out. That's always spaghetti
with grape.
Yes, great Kool-Aid spaghetti. Well, don't you have, an Italian, you got to have your wine with your spaghetti. That's your deep purple grapes. Wine.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about sangria?
Well, we wasn't that advanced. We weren't that advanced. You know what I mean? Like,
y'all was advanced. Y'all was advanced. Like, listen, I've never heard anybody say that their family had color coordinated the Kool-Aid with the meal. When we had tuna mac, we had green. Like lime Kool-Aid.
Now
like, that's exotic.
Now, what
that's
I do want to say
blackness.
What I do want to say
Egyptian.
Is that wasn't Jackie. That wasn't Jackie or Bobby. Other than Bobby always wanted tropical punch, when he has one thing. But the rest of that was something we did as kids that I kind of started because we liked certain ones.
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, no, we're having that, so we got to have this. So then it started just to become, if you had chili, it was lemonade. My mom made chili. My sister did it.
Chili and lemonade.
Yeah, the lemonade, the yellow. Yeah. I mean, there was it was just something that we did.
I'm going to start that too.
Yeah.
And we don't even make Kool-Aid.
We'll start buying Kool-Aid now.
We got Kool-Aid at the house, but I'm gonna get some.
Yeah, they got sugar-free Kool-Aid too now.
So. I like that. I ain't worried about the sugar. If I'm gonna drink Kool-Aid, ain't gonna be no sugar-free. I want some sugar-free. I'll drink this water.
Yeah. Well, sugar-free Kool-Aid now for us probably would be put the right amount of sugar.
Buddy, what don't you understand?
What?
I don't want no sugar-free.
Okay, that's true. It ain't Kool-Aid if it's sugar-free. It ain't Kool-Aid. I agree.
Like that's like non-alcoholic beer. I don't want. I just rather have juice.
Yeah. I agree with that. So yeah. But I had to drop that in on the Super Bowl because every now and then when I got the time, and because a lot of times now
so what's the Kool-Aid for Super Bowl?
I don't do. What's funny is I don't do Kool-Aid anymore. This is like I said when I was a kid. This is what we did. Now. It wasn't just when I was a kid. I did that a little bit later.
It's a level of betrayal that I just.
It is. Now that you say
the ultimate joy and the ultimate letdown all in one. That happened so fast.
We got how many people we got tuning in with us? We ain't got too many people, but when you watch this later on, oh yeah, we do got some coming in. I need to know your favorite Kool-Aid and what you would like it with. What meal when you was a kid?
Yeah, I want to know that. I want to know if there's anybody else out there that has their Kool-Aid color coordinated with whatever for dinner. Yeah. I never heard that before.
And if you didn't, you start it now and give me the props for it. Thank you, Madam Producer. Give me the props for it. So yeah, so Super Bowl today. Let's get right into the Super Bowl itself. I think we've already made our picks. Do you got a change or did we make our picks? We made our picks.
Yeah, I think
do you have a change? We both picked Kansas City for the same reason, pretty much what everybody is saying. Which leads me to there might be a change in my pick, but does your pick change?
No, my pick is the same. I gotta ride Patrick Mahomes until the wheels fall off. Because like I said, me and Sean Fletcher, we got this man. Maybe about 8-9 years ago, we made a bet that and I told him at the time Pittsburgh was rolling. I told him Pittsburgh will get 7.
Yeah.
Before San Francisco gets 6.
Okay.
And
can't have San Francisco.
I mean, San Francisco's knocking on the door, number 6, and been knocking on the door for the last 4 or 5 years of getting number 6. Yeah. And now they're actually back in the Super Bowl again, and I'm terrified.
Yeah.
So I need Pat Mahomes to save me.
Need Pat Mahomes to save you. And that's what a lot of people probably going to want is Pat Mahomes to save them. And as I said, I just can't see going against Pat Mahomes. So I'm going with the Chiefs. However, in our breakdown, those of you who didn't see it, our last live, in our breakdown, we kind of, gave some strengths and weaknesses and everything. But the more I unpack this game, I tend to side with saying that I don't know that Kansas City can stop San Francisco. Yeah. And I don't know that they've shown that they can stop a formidable offense like theirs. Yes, there's not many or any in the NFL like San Francisco's offense, the dynamic receivers they have, because they have 4 dynamic receivers. They have 2 dynamic runners. They have a deep threat. They have guys that they get a lot of yards. So they can run a short passing game. They can run behind, they can run screen passes, jet sweeps, straight ISO running, zone blocking running. Now, what stops them to me is Kansas City's ability to get to Purdy.
Yeah.
Because Purdy is the only thing that is not should I say, dynamic in that dynamic offense. Not saying he's not good,
I think the concept,
but he's not dynamic.
I think that's going to change because he's a little nifty.
Yeah.
I don't know if his body is going to hold up because he's slight.
Right.
But he plays a lot better than people want to give him credit for.
Well, let me put it this way, because we talked a little bit about Purdy. Let me give you another analogy. You know, there's some guys, I'd probably fit this. A lot of females, when I was younger, probably liked me as a friend. And then once they got to know me, they might like me a little better. Some guys like you, maybe, they liked you from the start. Like, you know. But in other words, some guys, the attraction, a woman or a guy with a woman, the attraction is from looking at them as soon as they walk, as soon as they talk, as soon as they smile. Others, you got to get to know me, then you like me. You know what I mean? And I think that's how Purdy is. I described somebody like with his talent and how he plays ball. You got to get to know him. In other words, he's got to produce more and more. Then you got guys like a Patrick Mahomes that comes into this league in his first starting year, he gets 50 touchdown passes. Like, I know I want to get to know him. I want him for my quarterback. Purdy, well, I don't know. Is he really a game manager, which is still a positive, but is he a game manager? Is he just somebody that the people around him makes him look good? You know, so in my case, is it what he's wearing making him look good, or is he, you know? And so that's what I feel about Purdy. So when I say things about him, I'm not saying he can't be good. He's not. I'm just not ready to date him yet because I don't know if he's really a nice person.
Well, I don't think he's. I get what you're saying. I just think he's a lot better than people give him credit for because it's just so hard to give credit. But I also understand where you're coming from. Like the spot is 2.5 San Fran. What do you think the spot will be if you flip the quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think San Fran will be spotting about 7.5.
I want to say 2 touchdowns.
Okay, and I wouldn't think it was that crazy.
Yeah.
And which that's the thing. So that's what you're saying is that.
Well, Pat,
so are you saying that more about the quarterback or more about the team?
I'm saying the team. San Fran has a better team.
Yeah,
and Kansas City has a better quarterback.
Which means
so
Kansas
if the quarterback was on
yeah.
the other team, it would be just a complete.
And what that means is Kansas City. I mean, Pat Mahomes carried Kansas City to this place.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is could, and that's a great analogy. I mean, that's a great hypothetical because that's exactly what they're saying about Purdy. So when they use the word game manager, what they mean is everything in the game has got to be perfect so that I can just manage it.
Yeah, but they also say, too, to be fair to Brock Purdy,
yeah,
they also say there's no quarterback that you can put on the level and act like it's an even swap with Pat Mahomes. He's just different from everybody else. He's on a tier. He's in a class all of his own. He's many people that have football players, Hall of Famers that seen him play, are saying that he's probably the best player to ever play the position. Now he's not at the level of he's the greatest yet. Tom Brady is still the GOAT. Pat Mahomes got a long way to go. But they're saying watching him play and his achievements that he has already in being his 6th year, he may be the best quarterback that's ever played the position.
True, and I don't even, and that, there's no doubt I'm not even comparing them to, other than the fact that they play against each other. And so if somebody gets a, but my point is, I think there's 5, 6, 7, 8 other quarterbacks that you would say the same thing about in the league. If that quarterback was on, if you put any of these 5 that I'm talking about on San Francisco,
who's the 5?
Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I would say from what he's shown us, CJ Stroud.
Okay.
I would say Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I would want to say Herbert,
okay.
But he is, he's starting to wonder. He's had what we thought anyway. Now they've had a lot of injuries, but San Diego,
break it year for him.
Yeah, because San Diego in the last 2 or 3 years,
Los
Angeles, you're right, had been considered great rosters, and then with that type of a quarterback that he's shown, so yes, I think if Herbert was on San Francisco, they would be a touchdown favorite. Maybe not 2. Mahomes is 2. Everybody else, Josh Allen they'd be favored by 10. Lamar Jackson, they maybe be favored by 9. Somebody else, Herbert, maybe they only deserve 7.5. My thing is right now with Purdy, they're 2.5, and I think that's where you're at. That
I
margin.
was disappointed in Lamar Jackson's performance in the AFC Championship game. And I think the one you only named 4, I think the one you're leaving out just slipping your mind because you have
Burrow. Yeah, for
Burrow.
sure, Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
I agree with you. With let me say this about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson to me is a great quarterback. Do you think Eli Manning is a great quarterback? Was a great quarterback?
No.
Do you think he was his 7th year? Would you consider him a great quarterback?
No.
After he won any one of his Super Bowls,
I think he was a good quarterback.
Okay. What about now? He actually won Super Bowls, though.
I know, too.
Okay. What
He
about
beat Tom Brady in both of them?
What about Phillip Rivers?
Phillip Rivers, I thought, was more talented than Eli Manning for sure.
Great quarterback.
Yeah, I think he's a
Roethlisberger.
great quarterback.
Okay. They all got drafted together. I think that's going to be somewhat how Lamar Jackson will end up. So the difference would be he's going to be more of Phillip Rivers. I don't know that he can win a Super Bowl. He has the ability to win a Super Bowl, but I don't know that he has the intangibles to win a Super Bowl.
Well, I think Lamar Jackson's problem is he's listened, he's heard the critique, he's heard the criticism, and he's trying to prove his doubters wrong instead of letting them be right. But then dominate, not matter because I'm just going to win. Okay, I'm a running quarterback. Fine, then I'm gonna beat you running.
And let me tell you something. We had this conversation before, and I'm gonna say the conversation we had. I don't want to relitigate it because I'll say you're right. I'll let what you're saying right because I don't want to relitigate it. When we talked about Deion being in the pros and what Deion can do in the pros compared to what he could do in college, this would be a prime example. No pun intended. That I think if he was Lamar Jackson's coach, I think Lamar Jackson could win multiple Super Bowls. I think the confidence in just what you said when you said, I think he don't need to listen to what people say. I think if you're being coached by Deion Sanders, you don't listen to what nobody else says but what he says. And I believe he would give him that extra umph that when it's time, prime time.
Yeah, I don't think Deion would be a bad.
No, you didn't say that. You said he'd be better where he's at because of who he can help at that level.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt that even in this situation, he would be so good in the pros that he could do just as much, maybe looked in a different way. I think what he could do for Lamar Jackson now and what he could have done for Lamar Jackson as in college is the same to some extent. But I think once you get to the highest level, you meet more goals. If you get to where you want to at the highest level, you've met a goal. If you're in the midway and you get to where you're being able to get your goals met, if that makes any sense. But so I just wanted to, so those are the people that I think. So when I say about Purdy, which is the main thing, like you said, we don't want to get distracted from the main thing, which is the Super Bowl today. I think Purdy is, he should be, I'd love to have him. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I'd love to have somebody that performs the way he performs. He gets things done. He's efficient. He has risen in times he should rise. He hasn't hurt his team. When he hasn't carried them, they may have lost. But when they were playing, he didn't. When they were playing well, he didn't cause them to lose. And so I got to give him his play. He belongs in the Super Bowl. His play has shown that. And so I'm going with Mahomes. But man, when I dissect it, it looks like I just don't know how Kansas City's going to be able to stop him.
It'll get real scary if somehow Chase Young wakes up.
Oh, yeah.
If he wakes up and that defensive line from San Francisco wakes up to go with those linebackers,
yes,
it'll make for a long day.
Yes.
I'm hoping that doesn't happen because I want to. Not only do I want Mahomes to stop San Fran from getting their 6th ring, but I also want to see how the shift happens with Mahomes as it pertains to the GOAT conversation.
I agree. I'm looking at just his averages and the way he plays for the next 4 years. That one more Super Bowl does it for me. That would give him 10 years in the league. That would give him what, 4, if he won this time also, they gave him 4 Super Bowls in 10 years. All of his counting stats will be better or just as good as anybody in the top 3 of what theirs was in 10 years. The only thing then it would be is kind of similar. We always come back to this when we talk about sports and we talk about greatness. We come back to the Michael Jordan and the LeBron thing. It would be similar to that, whereas Jordan is considered the greatest by some, or has been, and he had a 15-year or 14-year career, 15-year career. But LeBron has a 21, 22, 23-year career. Like Brady had a 21-year career, and now that means Mahomes would have like a 10-year career, and that's just to say. He would have he probably might still be playing, obviously, but I'm saying that if he starts to diminish it any, what he's accomplished so far is so front loaded that I hope it doesn't get lost if he stays in and he can't, duplicate what he has done. Because people don't realize Brady, in the middle of Brady's 10-year career, there was 10 years that they didn't even go to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And I don't think we realize what that is. Nobody cares, I guess. But to me, what were you doing for 10 years? As great as you are, as great as Belichick, what was going on for 10 straight years that you didn't get to the Super Bowl? Because at the beginning and at the end, it seemed like it was just easy. If you got Brady, you're going to Super Bowl. I mean, you go to another team that hadn't been to the Super Bowl.
I think it became that. In his fourth, fifth, and sixth Super Bowl in New England.
Right.
It became if you got Brady. I think at first, like their first Super Bowl run, he threw 1 touchdown pass
in
the whole playoff run.
Right.
So they won because of the defense, and he didn't kill them.
Right.
So I don't think when he won his first, second, even the third ring,
right,
that it was, if you got Brady, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was more. It was just the Patriot way. It was the defense. It was, and then he became that.
Oh, I agree.
After that 10-year gap, he became.
And I think most people would look at his career and they would take that 10-year gap. They would take 5 and put it with the first year, and 5 and put it with the other year. And so then it's 3 in a 10-year period, and then 3 in another 10-year period. But I'm looking at 3 in a 4-year period, 10 years without anything, and then 3 in a 4-year period, that type of, or 5-year period that he went with. So
I mean, it makes it difficult.
It does,
and because we can't stick together on anything. We can't, like we do. Everybody, like white supremacists are trying to kill us. The police are killing us, and at the same time, we're killing us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we can't stick together.
Yeah, and so what we do is we try again, and we try again, and we wake up, and God gives us a certain amount of grace that we end up going right back out there and doing it again, because that's how I feel a lot of times. I'm not for this, but it seems like you're doing something that you're not going to win.
That was a long-winded way of saying I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, so we just keep doing. You know what I mean? We just keep doing because we don't know for sure. But we're going to bring this back in front of you guys, the listeners, the people that we talk to, and soon we'll be challenging some of you guys. We know you in the community. We're going to bring some information to you, whether it's through our churches, whether it's through our conversation in barbershops, whether it's through our conversations wherever we see each other, grocery stores or something. Hey, can you come and be a support system for this young woman who has had this happen to her in her high school, and now she's worried that kids will retaliate. Not only retaliate, and the school system might retaliate against her. It needs to be out there, and it needs to be shown, because this isn't the only school system.
Oh, not by far.
This happens to.
It's practically every school system.
Exactly. And what's going to happen on this platform from this side of the Mac and Jett Show, I'm going to start revealing some of the situations like this one that goes on in our school systems. And we will revealing the school systems that they're happening in, because either one of two things is going to happen. They're going to be asked about it, questioned about it, and hopefully somebody stands up for these kids, or not. And so they won't be hurt at all, and they'll continue to do the same things they do, because they really, in some situations, the people who are in a lot of times when we talk about these schools, and the situations we've had, is that I'm usually talking about the highest of those people in charge. I'm talking about superintendents, boards of education, and principals, administration. Not that educators don't have the situations within the classrooms also, because I just mentioned this young lady had a situation where the kid stood up and called her a nigger in class, and the teacher put his name on the board as in maybe he's going to get detention or something. And then the young lady said, but before class is over, he erased it. Well, and then the day went on and nothing else has been said about it.
Not only that, it wasn't just like not to pretend that that's not enough. Mm-hmm. But it was clear. It's clear. It's more than name calling. It's clear hate speech, because in his statement, he said, "I hate niggers."
Right. Yeah.
So
it's again, we are supposed to act like there is no, just like Nikki Haley said, and has tried to defend, saying that there is no racism in America. America is not a racist country. Like, how do you not have a racist country if you were born in racism, and if you continue to make racism lawful and the majority of the people in your country agrees with it, unto the point where you have to go and finally change it, but you can't change hearts. You can't change lineage. You can't change lineage. And so, yes, we are trying to do better in our country through the consciousness that Black people have always bought America, that our civil rights effort, our efforts in Black history, everything we've done in Black history is to help America and bring conscious to her the things that she's doing wrong. And as Martin Luther King did so well, he gave that conscience a voice. He gave that civil rights fight, that righteous fight, a voice. And that voice is what we should all be still trying to do, not celebrating it just to say we celebrate it in doing. And so, again, we'll bring that up. We'll bring more of this up, and we'll have a lot of discussions, and let's hope things can change. And we're gonna try to help that young lady, as many others as we always have and will, and see that she gets some form of justice and support in this situation that she's had. And so that's going to be the end of our show. You got anything to add? Anything that I missed?
No, just we got a couple hours yet before the Super Bowl. So anybody, if you get a chance to watch this, go ahead and make your Super Bowl prediction, and so we can have a discussion about who was right, who was wrong later. I'm talking to viewers, and let us know how you feel also about the incident with the school system. And if you're one of the people who's willing to stand, just type in the thread, "I will stand," so that we'll know if we have allies, if we have people that are willing to stand with us as we stand against racism, and we stand up for public safety for our children. If you're one of the ones who will stand, just type in the comments, "I will stand." That's all I have.
Good deal. We're gonna end our show on a good note of saying that we both pick Kansas City. We hope Kansas City does what they do, but I'm just looking for a good game, hopefully. And I think there's no way it couldn't possibly be a good game. We know it's going to be a good halftime show, and we know that the commercials, some will be good and others will disappoint us. But since we have no expectation, we'll just ride with it. We know that some people are going to have tuna fish macaroni salad. Some are going to have chicken nachos. Some are going to have some wings and some barbecue chicken. Madam President, what are you going to have? I mean, Madam Vice President, what are you going to have?
A bunch of sliders.
Oh, now we're
Dips,
talking. Now we're
sliders,
talking.
and chicken.
Dips, sliders, and chicken.
Yeah.
Okay, now we talking.
Yeah,
so
I'm in agreement with all that. I just don't. I don't want to see a good game. I want Kansas City to just go ahead and handle business, because I don't want to be nervous about San Fran getting that 6th ring.
I think there's a lot of people feel the same way you do. So we're going to sign off with that. We want to say peace. Again, subscribe to the Mac TV network. This is on YouTube. Get yourself your email address. Sign in on YouTube. Go to Mac TV $. Go to, again, Mac TV $. Hit the subscribe button. Then hit the bell. When you hit the bell, you'll see the all. That'll mean that all videos that we drop, you will be notified when they come. Again, go to our Facebook page. You can like that page, like this video, share this video, and please be a participant and a watcher of Mac TV. Got a lot of shows, a lot of talent coming up on Mac TV very soon. I want you to already be there, so when they debut, you'll be able to see them. So Peace out from Mac and
Jett.
so long.